वासुदेवाय। Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Text 15. Prashant Rupe Shvatrai Sarupe Rabhyardhyamane Shvanukamya Papma Paravaresho Mahadansh Yukto Yajo Abhijato Bhagavan Yathagni.
The personality of Godhead, the all-compassionate controller of both the spiritual and material creations, is unborn. But when there is friction between his peaceful devotees and the persons who are in the material modes of nature, he takes birth just like fire, accompanied by the Mahatattva.
Text 16. Mam khedayatye tadjasya janma vidambanam yat vasudeva gehe raje cha vasuribhya divasa swayam purad vyavasidhaya danantavirya.
When I think of Lord Krishna, how he was born in the prison house of Vyasadeva, although he is unborn, how he went away from his father's protection to Vraj and lived there incognito out of fear of the enemy, and how, although unlimitedly powerful, he fled from Mathura in fear. All these bewildering incidences give me distress.
Text 17. Dunoti chetah smarato mametad यदा पादावभिवन्द्य पित्रो तातां कंसादुरुशक्तिनामां प्रसीदतं नो कृतनिष्कृतीनाम्.
Lord Krishna begged pardon from his parents for their, Krishna and Balavan's, inability to serve their feet due to being away from their home because of great fear of Kamsa. He said, O mother, O father, please excuse us for this inability. All this behavior of the Lord gives me pain at heart.
Text 18. को वा मुष्याङ्घ्रि सरोजरेणुम् विस्मर्तुमीशीतपुमान् विजिघ्रन् यो विस्फुरत् भ्रूवितपेन भूमे भ्रारां कृतान्तेन्द्रश्चकार.
Who, after smelling the dust of his lotus feet even once, could ever forget it? Simply by expanding the leaves of his eyebrows, Krishna has given the death blow to those who are burdening the earth.
Text 19. दृष्टा भवाद्भिर्ननुराजसूये चैधस्य कृष्णं द्विषतोऽपि सिद्धि यां योगिनः संस्पृहायन्ति सम्यक् योगेन कस्तद्विरहं सहेत.
You have personally seen how the king of Shedi, Shushipala, achieved success in yoga practice. Although he hated Lord Krishna, even the actual yogis aspire after such success with great interest by performance of their various practices. Who can tolerate separation from him?
Text 20. तथैव चान्ये नरलोकवीरा या आहवे कृष्णमुखारविन्दम् नेत्रैः पिबन्तो नयनाभिरामं पार्थास्त्रपूता पद्मापुरस्य
Certainly others who were fighters on the battlefield of Kurukshetra were purified by the onslaught of Arjuna's arrows, and while seeing the lotus-like face of Krishna, so pleasing to the eyes, they achieved the abode of the Lord.
Text 21. स्वयं त्वसाम्यातिशयस्त्र्यधीश स्वराज्यलक्ष्म्यां तत्समस्तकामान् बलिं हरिभिश्चिरलोकपालैः किरीटकोट्यदितपादपीठा.
Lord Shri Krishna is the Lord of all kinds of threes and is independently supreme by achievement of all kinds of fortune. He is worshipped by the eternal maintainers of the creation, who offer him the paraphernalia of worship by touching their millions of helmets to his feet.
Text 22. ततस्य कैङ्कर्यमालं भृतानो विज्ञापयत्यङ्गयत् उग्रसेनं तिष्ठान्निशनं परमेष्ठीदृश्ये न्याबोधयद्देव निधारयेति.
Therefore, O Vidura, does it not pain us, his servitors, when we remember that he, Lord Krishna, used to stand before King Ugrasena, who was sitting on the royal throne, and used to submit explanations before him, saying, O my lord, please let it be known to you.
Text 23. अहो बकीयं स्तनकालकूटं जिघांसयापायत्य पिया साध्वी लेभे गतिं धात्युचितां ततोऽन्यं कं वा दयालुं शरणं व्रजेम.
Can you go up, please? I can't see the English. Haribo. Can you go up? I can't see the English. I consider the demons who are inimical toward the Lord to be more than the devotees, because while fighting with the Lord, absorbed in thoughts of equanimity, they're able to see the Lord carried on the shoulder of Garuda, the son of Tarkisha, and carrying the wheel weapon in his hand.
Text 24. मन्ये सुरान् भागवतां स्त्रियाधीशे संरम्भमार्गाभिनिविष्टचित्तान् ये संयुगे चक्षतार्क्ष्यपुत्रम् मनसे सुनाभाय धमापतन्तम्.
Okay, I say it again. I consider the demons who are inimical towards the Lord to be more than the devotees, because while fighting with the Lord, absorbed in thoughts of enmity, they are able to see the Lord carried on the shoulder of Garuda, the son of Tarkisha, Kasyapya, and carrying the wheel weapon in his hand.
Text 25. वसुदेवस्य देवाख्यां जातो भजेन्द्रबन्धुनिः चिकीर्षु भगवानस्य शमजेनाभियाचितः.
The personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna, being prayed to by Brahma to bring welfare to the earth, was begotten by Vyasadeva in the womb of his wife Devaki in the prison of the king of Boja.
Text 26. ततो नन्दव्रजं मितः पित्रा कंसाद्विभीभ्यत एकादशासमास्तत्र कुडार्ची सम्बलो अवसत्.
Thereafter his father, being afraid of Kamsa, brought him to the cow pastures of Maharaj Nanda, and there he lived for 11 years like a covered flame with his elder brother Baladev.
Text 27. Parito वत्संस्ताश्चर्यान् विहारदा विभुः यमनोपवने कुजद्विज संकलु तिंघरिपे.
In his childhood, the Almighty Lord was surrounded by cowherd boys and calves, and thus he travelled on the shore of the Yamuna River, through gardens densely covered with trees and filled with vibrations of chirping birds.
Text 28. कौमार्यं दर्शयं चेष्टां प्रेक्षाणीयं व्रजोकसामा रुदन्निवाहस्नमुग्धः बाला सिंहावलोकनः.
When the Lord displayed his activities just suitable for childhood, he was visible only to the residents of Vrindavan. Sometimes he would cry and sometimes laugh, just like a child, and while so doing, he would appear like a lion cub.
Text 29. सा एव गोधनं लक्ष्माया निकेतं सिद्गोवृषम् चार्यन्नुगाना गोपान्ड्रना द्वेणुररीरमत्.
While herding the very beautiful bulls, the Lord, who was the reservoir of all opulence and fortune, used to blow his flute, and thus he enlivened his faithful followers, the cowherd boys.
Text 30. प्रयुक्तान् भोजरजेन मायीन कामारूपिणः लीलया व्यानुक्तस्तान बालाक्रीडनकानिव.
The great wizards who were able to assume any form were engaged by the king of Bodja, Kamsa, to kill Krishna, but in the course of his pastimes, the Lord killed them as easily as a child breaks dolls.
Text 31. विप्नान् विष्पानेन्निगृह्णा भुजगाधिपम् उत्थाप्यापायात्वा भागवस्ततोऽयं प्रकृतिस्थितम्.
The inhabitants of Vrindavan were perplexed by great difficulties because a certain portion of the Yamuna was poisoned by the chief of the reptiles, Galia. The Lord chastised the snake king within the water and drove him away. And after coming out of the river, he caused the cows to drink the water and proved that the water was again in its natural state.
Text 32. Ayajayad Gosavena Goparajam Dvijotmehe Viktasya Choru Bharasya Shikrishan Satvayam Vibhu.
The Supreme Lord Krishna desired to utilize the opulent financial strength of Maharaj Nanda for worship of the cows, and also he wanted to give a lesson to Indra, the king of heaven. Thus he advised his father to perform worship of Go, all the pasturing land, and the cows, with the help of learned brahmanas.
Text 33. Varshatindre Vrajah Kopad Bhagnamane Ativihalaha Gotralila Taptrena Tratro Bhadra Nugrahinata.
O sober Vidura, King Indra, his honor having been insulted, poured water incessantly on Vrindavan, and thus the inhabitants of Raja, the land of cows, were greatly distressed. But the compassionate Lord Krishna saved them from danger with his pastime umbrella, the Govardhan hill.
Text 34. Sharakshashikareramrishtam manayanna Rajni mukham gayana kalpadam Reme strina mandal mandanaha.
In the third season of the year, the Lord enjoyed the central beauty of the assembly of women by attracting them with his pleasing songs in an autumn night brightened by moonshine.
Hare Krishna, thank you for the beautiful recitations, Prabhuji and Mataji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Can we start?
Yes, please, Mataji, go ahead. Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna.
Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for attending today for the lovely class we're going to have. But I just want to, in beforehand, just like to tell you all that I have my Deepdan program. It is actually clashing with the class, but I will be going at around 8:35 to 8:40, if that's okay, Mataji. I might not be able to see for the songs. Is that okay?
Yes, Mataji, that's fine. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So today, actually, it's been a busy time, but anyway, let's do of the prayers, invocation prayers, and then we can start the class so that everything will be done in time. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवम् श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे। जय श्री कृष्ण। Hare Krishna, dear devotees, thank you so much for giving me, your blessings, just to come and just at least be amongst you. So today, I think we're going to read a lovely, and we're going to end this chapter today. So I think I'm doing the verses from 32, 30, 31, 32, 30, 34. Yeah, just small verses though. I'll just again, like you all know, we just have some volunteers, please, if that's okay, just to read the just in English only. If you all having difficulty in Sanskrit, or I can do of the Sanskrit and you all can do the English.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Pranam.
Pranams.
Hare Krishna. So I do the translation Mataji or
and the purport too, Mataji.
And the purport as well, and not the shloka.
You can do if you want to. That's all right.
Okay.
Hardly take
All
a
right.
second.
It's verse 31, isn't it?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. Vipannam Visapanena Nigraya Puja Jagdipam Utapyapayayad Gavas Tattoyam Prakriti Stitam. Translation. The inhabitants of Vrindavan were perplexed by great difficulties because a certain portion of the Yamuna was poisoned by the chief of the reptiles, Kalia. The Lord chastised the snake king within the water and drove him away. And after coming out of the river, he caused the cows to drink the water and proved that the water was again in its natural state.
Okay, I think Mataji, whoever is the behind in the group, no? Can you all just take out Canto 10, chapter 17, please, Mataji? And the same Mataji will read just
Yeah.
the thing.
Okay, so I did 31. There is only translation, no
Please wait,
purpose.
Mataji. Please hold on. So
Yeah.
Mataji is just getting it out. Please hold on. Chapter 17, Mataji.
Chapter 17.
Yes. So Mataji, just read only the paragraph. Don't go for the verses. Can you read from the beginning? So this chapter describes how Kalia. Can you read that, Mataji?
Yeah, okay.
Read
So,
that whole of the 4 paragraphs, okay?
okay. When King Parikshit inquired about Kalia's living Ramanak Island, the abode of the serpents, and about why Garuda acted inimically towards him, Sri Shukadeva Goswami replied as follows: all the serpents on the islands were afraid of being devoured by Garuda. To placate him, every month they would leave various offerings for him at the foot of a banyan tree. Sorry, I'm reading from my
Yes,
phone.
Mataji, right. You're reading.
But
Continue, please.
Kaliya, puffed up as he was with false pride, would eat these offerings himself. Hearing of this, Garuda became furious and went to kill Kaliya, whereupon the snake began biting the great bird. Garuda fiercely beat him with
His wing.
his wings, sending Kaliya fleeing for his life to a lake adjoining the Yamuna River. Prior to the above incident, Garuda had once come to the Yamuna and started eating some fish. So Bari Rishi had tried to stop him, but Garuda, agitated by hunger, had refused to heed the sage's prohibitions, and in response, the sage had cursed Garuda that if he ever came there again, he would immediately die. Kalia had heard of this, and thus he lived without fear. In the end, however, he was driven out by Sri Krishna. When Lord Balarama and all the residents of Vrindavana saw Sri Krishna rise up out of the lake, beautifully decorated with many different gems and ornaments, they embraced him in great pleasure. The spiritual masters, priests, and learned Brahmanas then told Nanda Maharaj, the king of the coward, that although his son had been caught in the grips of Kalia, it was by the king's good fortune that he was now free again. Because of people of Vrindavan were quite worn out by hunger, thirst, and fatigue, they spent that night on the banks of the Yamuna. In the middle of the night, a fire happened to blaze up within the forest, which had become dry during the hot season. As the fire surrounded the sleeping inhabitants of Vrindavan, they suddenly woke and rushed to Sri, to Sri Krishna, who was lying dead on the bank. They cried out, "Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna!" But Sri Krishna, being very angry, Krishna for protection. Then the unlimitedly powerful Lord Sri Krishna, seeing his dear relatives and friends so distressed, immediately swallowed up the fire, or swallowed up the terrible forest fire. Hare Krishna Mataji, shall I continue or that's it?
Where are you, Mataji? I'm trying to see. Okay,
Yeah, right.
one
I
second.
think, yeah, before text 1. Shall I continue, Mataji?
Before text one, where okay.
The paragraph just before text 1. I finished the paragraph before text 1. Just above text 1.
Okay, that's fine, Mataji. Leave it there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously in this, thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. Hare
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. I just wanted you to read the previous one actually. So basically, in this paragraph, how Uddhava is trying to tell Vidura, we go back again the same thing as how Uddhava is telling about Krishna's pastimes, and this time he tries to tell about how Krishna really drives away serpent Kalia. So Kalia has been living in this Yamuna river for some time now. And Yamuna river is really, Yamuna is really, really worried, that her water is becoming very poisonous. It had become poisonous, become so poisonous that any bird flying over because of the fumes of the poison would die. Anybody who drinks the water from Yamuna would die. All the plants and all never would live. And it became so dangerous. And Kalia was really, taking over that river. And Yamuna was choking, and she was literally actually praise to Krishna. So to restore the purity of Yamuna's waters, then Lord Krishna, what he does is, so he this time on this day, particular day, Balarama is not there. So Krishna is the younger brother of Balarama. Balarama is obviously the strongest person over there, so with his bal, and he likes to protect his younger brother. So on this particular day, Krishna goes alone with all his friends, and then all this pastime happens, where so Krishna actually hears about this Kalya, and then he climbs onto this Kadamba tree, and then he jumps into the water, and then he starts playing, obviously. Now playing over there in the waters, and then Kalia could not tolerate it. He said, "How dare? Who's this person coming into my abode without my permission?" And then he goes and just bites Krishna on the chest. When Krishna's all his friends, they see him now, they become really unconscious. They're like, "Oh my God!" And all sorts of things happen in Braja. Earth starts trembling, and literally everything, all the bad omens start happening. And then all the residents of Vrindavana, they'll be thinking like, "Oh my God, Krishna has gone to the forest now. Don't know what has happened now. What has happened to him?" And they'll be trying to, they'll follow the footpaths of Krishna, and then it reaches to Yamuna. And in the water, then what they will see Krishna will be over there, and he is what the big Kalya is literally wrapped up. Krishna, totally, this big black snake is so Krishna is literally wrapped up in this black snake, and all the residents become so disturbed. So I'm going to read from the chapter of here, just a little bit from the paragraph, if that's okay. So the residents of Vrindavana thought, "Today Krishna went to the forest without Balarama. So we do not know what great misfortune may have befallen him." Thinking in this way, they traced the path of Krishna's footprints to the bank of the Yamuna. Within the water of the lake adjoining the river, they saw Lord Krishna, the very essence of their lives, enwrapped in the coils of a black snake. The residents thought the three worlds had become empty, and they all prepared to enter the water. But Lord Balrama checked them, knowing well the power of Krishna. So Balrama also comes over there and he says, he knows who Krishna is, so he does not, he's not worried actually. So then Lord Krishna, seeing how disturbed his friends and relatives had become, expanded his great body greatly and forced the serpent to loosen his grip. So earlier he was a tiny boy, and suddenly he expands. And when he expands, obviously the muscles of the snake, they can't stretch, and he becomes it causes a lot of pain. And then Kalia loosens his grip and releases him. So next the Lord began playfully dancing about on the serpent's hood. By this wonderful boisterous dancing, Sri Krishna trampled the serpent's 1,000 hoods until his body slackened. Vomiting blood from his mouth, Kalia finally understood that Krishna was the primeval personality, Lord Narayana, the spiritual master of all moving and non-moving creatures, and he took shelter of him. Seeing how very weary Kalia had become, his wives, the Nagapatnis, bowed down at Lord Krishna's lotus feet. Then they offered him various prayers in hopes of gaining the husband's freedom. It is quite fitting that you have brought our cruel husband to this condition. Indeed, by your anger he has gained great benefit. What piety Kalia must have amassed in his previous lives. Today, he has borne upon his head the dust of the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead, the attainment of which is difficult for even the mother of the universe, the goddess Lakshmi. Please kindly forgive the offense Kalia has committed out of ignorance and allow him to live. Satisfied with the Nagapatni's prayers, Krishna releases Kalia, who slowly regained his sensory and vital powers. Then Kalia, in a distressed voice, acknowledged the offense he had committed, and finally he offered Krishna many prayers and said he was ready to accept his command. Krishna told him to leave the Yamuna lake with his family and return to Ramanaka island. Okay, I think this is what I wanted to make the Mataji read, but I'm so sorry. Please forgive me, Mataji. I went a bit ahead. So this Kalia serpent is actually one of the kings who actually he was a very pious king. I don't know what the name of the king was, but he was a very pious king, and he used to perform yagnas. But only his problem was he had a stomach problem. So whenever he used to perform yagnas, he used to have a problem. Then he has to go to the toilet, then again take bath and come back. And by the time his yagna would become really obstructed. So then he actually he did not know what the solution was. So one of the king will tell him. So one of the sage will tell him to go to the forest and go and kill this particular bird. And after you eat the flesh, then your disease will be cured. So the king will go to the forest, but then he will not go in the shape of as a hunter, but he'll go as a sadhu, and he will be sitting over there and meditating, and so that the bird will come and so that bird will not be alerted, So he goes and he meditates like a sage, and this bird comes, and then it sits on its shoulder. And after that, the king, who is in the form of a sadhu, he feels really compassion. He said, "Oh my God, this bird is trusting me, so I really can't kill." And he goes back. Then to his kingdom. Then the sadhu asked, "What happened?" He said, "No, I cannot kill the bird because it had so much of trust in me, and if I kill the bird, I'm a king, and people will lose trust in me." So the sadhu will be very happy, and he will say, "Okay, fine, you've done a very good thing. Now, I think you should go to there is one particular sage. He's living in a cave. You should, if you take his charnamrit and drink, then you will be cured of this disease." So then this king will go. He will go and search for the cave, and he will see this sadhu in deep meditation. But he cannot see his legs over there. It'll be all wrapped inside. It'll be in deep meditation. So then somehow one leg will come out, and the sadhu will move one leg, and he will see in that leg there will be all pus and very, very, very bad looking leg. But then he'll be thinking like, okay, if I can have a look at the other leg, and then both the legs come out, and the other leg is full of leprosy, and it'll be totally, both the legs will be so bad. So what he will do, somehow he will say like, okay, he'll wash the legs, and then he will, what he will do is, he will take the water and sprinkle on his head, and then he will say, that's also Charanamrit, you don't want to drink, you don't have to drink, you can sprinkle on your head also, that will become purified. So when he comes back, and then the sadhu will actually say that, the sadhu will actually get very, very angry. He said, you have insulted me, I've insulted the Charanamrit, by actually not drinking it and by sprinkling on your head. Because you have insulted the Charanamrit by not drinking it, you will become a serpent, right? And when because you have actually sprinkled on your head, so the Charanamrit, you have purified yourself, then you will have the benefit of the Lord's blessings. So this is where Kalia, because Kalia has, because of the Charanamrit, so he becomes the thing as Kalia, and then he gets the blessings of Lord Krishna dancing on his feet. But then obviously here one more thing is that whoever has anything, they offer to the Lord. So what did Kalia have? He had poison, and he had whatever anger, he had everything, he offered it to the Lord. But the God blessed him by dancing on his head and relieve him of his give him benediction. So that is the story of the Kalia over there. But then again, there's the next story follows. That's another title. We have to go later to see how Kalia comes over there, and how that's the next story. We will leave it for next class. But can we go to the next verse, Mataji? Sorry, it's getting a bit 33. I think we should go to 32. If somebody can read, or I can read it myself otherwise. So Ayaja Gosavena Goparajam Dvijottamaiha Vitasya Chorubharasya Chikirshan Sadvyayam Vibhuhu. The Supreme Lord, Krishna, desired to utilize the opulent financial strength of Maharaja Nanda for worship of the cows. And also he wanted to give a lesson to Indra, the king of heaven. Thus he advised his father to perform worship of Go, or the pasturing land and the cows, with the help of learned Brahmanas. Since he is the teacher of everyone, the Lord also taught his father Nanda Maharaj. Nanda Maharaj was a well-to-do landowner and owner of many cows. And as was the custom, he used to perform yearly worship of Indra, the king of heaven, with great opulence. This worship of demigods by the general populace is also advised in the Vedic literature, just so people can accept the superior power of the Lord. The demigods are servants of the Lord, deputed to look after the management of various activities of universal affairs. Therefore, it is advised in the Vedic scriptures that one should perform yagnas to appease the demigods. But one who is devoted to the Supreme Lord and has no need to appease the demigods, appease the Supreme Lord, but it is not necessary. One who should perform yagnas to appease the demigods, but one who is devoted to the Supreme Lord has no need to appease the demigods. Worship of the demigods by common people is an arrangement for acknowledging the supremacy of Supreme Lord, but it is not necessary. Such appeasement is generally recommended for material gains only. As we have already discussed in the second canto of this literature, one who admits the supremacy of Supreme Personality of Godhead does not need to worship the secondary demigods. Sometimes, being worshipped and adored by less intelligent living beings, the demigods become puffed up with power and forget the supremacy of the Lord. So this happened when Lord Krishna was present in the universe, and thus the Lord wanted to give a lesson to the king of heaven, Indra. He therefore asked Maharaja Nanda to stop the sacrifice offered to Indra and to use the money properly by performing a ceremony worshipping the cows and pasturing ground on the hill of Govardhana. By this act, Lord Krishna taught human society, as he has instructed in the Bhagavad Gita also, that one should worship the Supreme Lord by all acts and by all the results. That will bring about the desired success. The Vaishyas are specifically advised to give protection to the cows and the pasturing ground or agricultural land instead of squandering the hard-earned money. This will satisfy the Lord, the perfection of one's occupational duty, whether in the sphere of duty to oneself, one's community, or one's nation is judged by the degree to which the Lord is satisfied. So over here, Krishna again teaches that you should only pray to the Supreme Lord and not to the demigods. But then some people, less intelligent people, will try to pray to the demigods. Then Krishna will say, okay, fine, you go ahead and do. I mean, he will not obstruct people, but he'll give advice, and it is up for us to follow. So obviously, in Nanda Maharaj, due to fear of Indra, will be worshipping to Krishna, to Indra, and which Krishna will forbid him from doing. And he'll say, you should not worship to Indra. You should worship to the Govardhan hill, who is basically the Govardhan hill.
Television places whose shark-shaped earrings are swinging to and fro.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Okay. So in this way, what happens is obviously Indra, we all know the story where Indra showers so much of rain for 7 days, and this is where Krishna will hold the Govardhan hill with his pinky finger, with his tiny little finger. And basically, they say it is Krishna gets the help of all his covered boys and everything, but holding the pinky finger is the energy of Radharani, which is trying to hold the hill. Under that hill come all the residents of Vrindavana, and they stay there for 7 nights. And all those 7 nights or 8 days, 7 into 8, 56. So 7 days, Krishna will not have anything to eat. So that is why we call Chappan Bhog, because Krishna is offered how many times a day? 8 times a day. And for 7 days it didn't have. So that's why they give 56 varieties of food for Krishna. That is a Chappan Bhog history. So I'll just go quickly because of lack of time for the next verse. So it is Varshatindre Vraja Kopat Bhagan Bhagnamane Lavaha Tehvalaha Gotralilata Patrena Trato Bhatanugrhavataha Grahanataha. O sober Vidura, King Indra, his honor, having been insulted, poured water incessantly on Vrindavana, and thus the inhabitants of Vraja, the land of cows, were greatly distressed. But the compassionate Lord Krishna saved them from danger with his passionate umbrella, the Govardhana hill. So all the residents of Vrindavana will come under the Govardhana hill, and then obviously after that, after 7 days, Indra's pride will come down. So the more pride you have, the more longer it takes for the person to come down to Mother Earth. If you have less pride, you will say, okay, I'm sorry, I forgive everything. But if somebody has more pride, oh my God, it'll take ages. It'll become so difficult for them to ask forgiveness or to even accept that they're wrong. So this is what with Indra, it took him 7 days. Imagine how proud he was. The next verse, I'll just read. शरच्छशीकरैर्मृष्टं मानयन् रजनीमुखं गायन् कलपदं रेमे स्त्रीणां मण्डलमण्डनः. In the 3rd season of the year, the Lord enjoyed as the central beauty of the assembly of women by attracting them with his pleasing songs in an autumn night, brightened by moonshine. Before leaving the land of cows, Vrindavana, the Lord pleased his young girlfriends, the transcendental gopis, in his Rasalila pastimes. Here Uddhava stopped his description of the Lord's activities. So all the gopis will actually pray to Katyayani, that they want Lord Krishna as their husband. And this Rasalila, which again, so all this leelas happen when Krishna is in Vrindavan, in Gokula and Nandagaon. He is only matra 8 years, not very on 8 years of age, according to the Bhagavatam. So over there, when we said last time when we spoke, like when all the gopis will be taking bath in the river, Yamuna, and then so he steals away the clothes, and all the gopis will be trying to tell that we are going to tell Kansa Maharaj that this is what you're doing, you're harassing us and all that. Krishna will say, you go and tell Kansa Maharaj, I'm not afraid of him. So in a way, like how they not knowing that he is the personality of Godhead, of course. But then at that time, I think Krishna will promise the girls that he will give them that opportunity because they want Krishna as the husband. So he will give the opportunity for him, for them to have that boon. And so all the gopis will be praying to Katyayani to have Krishna as their husband. So when this Rasa Leela happens, we did speak on that time of the Sharad night. All the gopis will literally rush to the Vrindavan to the proper place. I think it is Nidhivan, where they want to go and dance with Krishna. And then obviously everybody will do the dance, and then Krishna leaves them because they become so proud, and then again they'll cry, and then the Gopi Geet happens, and then again Krishna comes back again to be with them. So over here, Uddhava, what he does is these are the pastimes of Vrindavana. So over here, this is where he will stop. So he will tell them about his birth, then about Govardhana Hill and the Kaliya thing, and all the lots of other pastimes, and then he stops away. Then he will start talking about how Krishna and Balraman all go to Mathura. So I think today, I think Mataji and all are trying to sing a song also, isn't it? So this chapter basically ends over here with Uddhava trying to tell Vidura about Lord Krishna, and then next he will talk about his pastimes in Mathura and then Dwaraka, and then obviously then I think Vidura asks Uddhava asks Vidura that even Maitreya Rishi was at the same time when Lord Krishna was there, so was telling him when Lord Krishna was speaking, so Maitreya Muni will know most of the things, so he will direct Vidura to get the stories from Maitreya Muni. I think I'll end the thing over here. Please forgive me. Today it was slightly a bit rushed. Please forgive me for any offenses caused. I wanted to prepare so much, but I was very busy from the time I've come from yesterday constantly. So I wanted to do a little bit more in detailed studying, but unfortunately was not able to. Please forgive me for my offenses and for a very shortened course today, a session. But today I'm sure now we'll have a lovely Damodar Ashtakam. But please, devotees, forgive me, I'll have to leave because I have to do a Deeptan in a different program. If you don't mind, Mataji, will somebody, I think Ras Leela Mataji is going to sing, and is it Namrata Mataji going to?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, Mataji, yeah. First of all, Mataji, thank you so much for a wonderful class. Haribol.
Thank
Adarun
you.
Pranam. Oh, glories to Srila Prabhupada, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji. As always, very nicely explained, Mataji. So, Mataji, today for Damodar Ashtakam, we do have Rasa Leela, Mataji. So, for the entire month, we will have Damodar Ashtakam on Sunday. We have Rasa Leela Mataji singing. But before she sings, is it okay if Indira Mataji does the English translation? Please, Jyoti Mataji. Haribol. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna. Is it okay for me to start?
Yes, please, Mataji. If you can see the screen. Yes, please, Mataji.
Yes, I can. Thank you. Hare Krishna. To the Supreme Lord, whose form is the embodiment of the eternal existence, knowledge and bliss, whose sharp-shaped earrings are swinging to and fro, who is beautifully shining in the divine realm of Gokula, who, due to the offense of breaking the pot of yogurt that his mother was churning into butter and then stealing the butter that was kept hanging from a swing, is quickly running from the wooden wooden grinding mortar in fear of Mother Yashoda, but who has been caught from behind by her, who ran after him with greater speed. To that Supreme Lord, Sri Damodar, I offer my humble obeisances. Seeing the whipping stick in his mother's hand, he is crying and rubbing his eyes again and again with his two lotus hands. His eyes are filled with fear, and his necklace of pearls around his neck, which is marked with 3 lines like conch shell, is shaking because his quick breathing due to crying. To this Supreme Lord, Sri Damodar, whose belly is bound not with the ropes, but with his mother's pure love, I offer my humble obeisances. By such childhood pastimes as this, he is drowning the inhabitants of Gokula in pool of ecstasy, and is revealing to those devotees who are observed in knowledge of his supreme majestic and opulence that he is only conquered by devotees whose pure love is imbued with intimacy and is free from all conceptions of awe and reverence. With great love, I again offer my obeisance to Damodar. Sorry, I'm lost. With great love, I again offer my obeisances to Lord Damodar hundreds and hundreds of times. O Lord, although you are able to give all kind of benediction, I do not pray to you for the boon of impersonal liberation, nor the highest liberation of eternal life in Vaikuntha, nor any other boon which may be obtained by executing the 9 processes of bhakti. O Lord, I simply wish that this form of yours as Bal Gopala in Vrindavan may ever be manifest in my heart. For what is use to me for any other boon besides this? O Lord, your lotus feet, which is encircled by locks of soft black hair, tinged with red, and is kissed again and again by Mother Yasoda, and your lips are reddish like bimba fruit. May this beautiful vision of your lotus face may ever manifest in my heart. Thousands and thousands of other benedictions are no use to me. O Supreme Godhead, I offer my obeisances unto you. O Damodara, O Ananta, O Vishnu, O Master, O my Lord, be pleased upon me. By showering your glance of mercy upon me, deliver this poor ignorant fool who is immersed in an ocean of worldly sorrows and become visible to my eyes. O Lord Damodar, just as the 2 sons of Kuvera, Manigriva and Nala Kuvera, were delivered from the curse of Narada and made into great devotees by you in your form as a baby tied with a rope to the wooden grinding mortar. In the same way, please give me your own Prema Bhakti. I only long for this and have no desire for any other liberation. O Lord Damodara, I first of all offer my obeisances to the brilliantly effulgent robe which binds your belly. I then offer my obeisances to your belly, which is an abode to the entire universe. I humbly bow down to your most beloved Srimati Radharani, and I offer all my obeisances to you, the Supreme Lord, who displays unlimited pastimes. Hare Krishna.
Haribol, thank you, Mataji. Rasalita Mataji, when you're ready. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Nama Ishwaram Sachitanandarupam Lasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam Yashodabhiyolushaladhavamanam Param Ishtam Atyanta Todute Gopya Rudandam Muhurnetra Yugmam Rijantam Karam Bhoja Yugmena Satankanetram मुहुश्वासकां पात्रीरेखाङ्ककण्ठा स्थितं देवं दामोदरं भक्तिवद्धम् इति दीक्षा लीलाभिरानन्दकुण्डे सघोषं निमज्जन्तम् अख्यापयन्तम् तदीयशीताग्नेषु भक्तेजिता त्वं पुनः प्रेमातस्तं शतावृत्ति वन्दे वरं देव मोक्षं न मोक्षं वधिं वा न चान्यं ग्रनेहं वरिषदपीहा इदं तेव पुरनाथा गोपालबालम् सदा मे मानस्य वीरास्तं किमन्ये इदं ते मुखाम्भोजमत्यन्तनीले वृतं कुन्तले स्निग्धा रक्तेश्च गोप्या मुहुश्चुम्बितं बिम्बारक्ताधरं मे मनस्य वीरास्तमलं लक्ष्यलाभे नमो देव दामोदरानन्त विष्णु प्रसीदा प्रभो दुःखजलाब्धिमग्नम् कृपादृष्टिविश्चातिदिनं बतानो गृहनेशा मामज्ञमेध्यक्षिदृश्या कुबेरात्मजौ बद्धा मूर्तेव याद्वात् त्वयमुच्छितो भक्ति भजो कृतो च तथा प्रेम भक्तिं स कामे प्रयच्छा न मोक्षे ग्रहो मे दामोदरेह नमस्ते सुधाम्ने स्फुरदीप्तिधाम्ने त्वदीयोदरायथ विश्वस्य धाम्ने नमो राधिकायै त्वदीया प्रियाय नमो अनन्तलीलाया देवाय तुभ्यं नमो राधिकायै त्वदीया प्रियाय नमो अनन्तलीलाया देवाय तुभ्यं हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा दामोदर राधे जय यशोदा दामोदर यशोदा जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव जय प्रभुपाद की जय
Hari Bol Mataji, beautiful singing. Hari Bol, Damodar Bhagwan ki jai. Thank you, Raslila Mataji, and thank you, Indira Mataji. Hari Bol. On to you, Shriji Kishori Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Rasalila Srimati Mataji, for the beautiful singing, and to Indira Mataji as well for the very nice recitation. Thank you so much. So, dear devotees, we've come to the end of today's session, and let's all say the Vaishnava prayer now to end the class. You can all join behind muted mics. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Sri Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you.